Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I am your host, Ichigo.
And I am Mikan.
Join us this week as we discuss our most relatable anime characters as well as our relatable anime in general. Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for joining us this week. Hope you guys have had a great week. So, this week we are going to be discussing our top, well, I'll say top, or like our most relatable anime characters, as well as like relatable anime shows.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just anime characters that just speak to us and just remind us that, like, life is great.
I feel like the ones I picked are all my life sucks types of relatable.
Yeah. I feel like mine are not borderline lazy, but like some of them can be super borderline
Lazy.
lazy.
It's-
And what I mean by lazy is like the characters that like, it's like, I really don't want to do this, but then they do it anyway, but complain the whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Like gotta work. Gotta
Yeah.
survive.
They gotta survive. They gotta work. So, but who are some of your relatable characters?
So I would say the ones I picked are along the lines of the characters themselves are somewhat relatable, but they don't live in a relatable world. And one of the first ones that came to mind immediately, and
Mhm.
this might shock you, and I feel like some other people, but Shinji from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
What?
Yes. So the
Are you
reason
serious?
why, yes, I am dead serious. So everyone always, and I also complain that he's like so whiny, such a wuss, like so annoying, blah blah
Yes.
blah. But the thing is, when you actually think about it, he's a 14-year-old who is suddenly told to step into this machine and basically fight these monsters, you know, and nobody cares. Like all the adults are like, you have to do it, or like his emotionally abusive father's like, you have to do it, or I don't care. Like, go, you know, leave. I don't really care about you. Like, either if you're gonna fight, you stay and fight and stop being a little baby, or get out of my face. And the thing is, this boy is 14 years old, okay? And he's
Mhm.
like the only person in this show that's like, this doesn't seem right, y'all. Like putting kids into these machines and having us fight, like, that seems a little ridiculous. Everyone's like, no, this is just life. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Like, if it was me,
What part of
I'm
life
just
is
thinking
this?
at 14, I have to like suffer that much and fight for all these people who still
Yeah,
disrespect me
nah, nah.
and
At
take
14
advantage
years
of
old,
me.
I ain't doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Like he was like the only realistic reaction. I think the thing is when we're watching like anime and shows, a lot of times we rather watch like a hero because it's more enjoyable that way. And
Mhm.
it's hard to watch somebody who has realistic reactions because we just I think people enjoy more so things that are cool and, you don't want to hear about a whiny teenager. Nobody wants to really watch that. But I feel like his reactions in the situation as from a regular person's point of view are totally like absolutely real, like relatable.
Yeah.
And he has to be like, because it hurts. Like they have to be in these machines and they feel pain and like, and he's just sitting there like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Like, the whole time. And I'm just like, bro, I totally feel you. Like, why are you here? Because the only other thing he could do is leave. And then in that case, the people that he cares about has to fight in his stead, which he
Right.
has no choice then. He's just like, okay, I have to suffer then, but I'm still going to complain about it.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I'm like, as a 14-year-old, yes, I relate to you. Shinji, I feel like you are totally have a rational point of view.
Okay, well, now that you've explained it like that, okay, I can see
Mhm.
it. But he's still just like,
He's still whiny. Yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah. That's the only part. Like, I get it. Like for his age, he's like, nah, 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 nah. We not finna do this. Like, nope, nope,
Mhm.
nowhere, no
Yeah.
way. I get that, but at the same time, at some point in our lives, we have to kind of like just buck up and do it. Not and it's always situational based. Like his
Yeah.
situation is like totally different. Like I get that, but uh there are certain days and times as adults, I will say this. 14-year-olds maybe not, but as an adult, there are going to be days and times where you're just like, I just got to suck it up and do it. Like I don't want to, and I
Yeah.
just I just got to do it
Yeah,
anyway.
no, I do agree. But think about it in terms of like if your boss gives you an unimaginable task and is like, stop complaining, just do it. Like,
Oh,
wouldn't
I'm
that
going
make
to be
you
mad.
mad?
I'm going to be mad.
Exactly. And then imagine you're a teen now. You're an angsty teen
Yeah.
who has other issues. Wouldn't that make you mad? Like, not only mad, but like, I'm sorry, why am I doing this? Everybody else gets to go home.
Yeah. Imagine Shinji just being like, nah, skip all of this and not ever like just dropping off the face of the earth. Like he could have
Yeah.
easily just
Yeah, no, he
saved
could
up some
have.
money
And there was, like,
and
one point he
fled.
ran. He did, like there was
Yeah,
one
he
point he
did.
kinda was like, "No," but he came back, and I do for I probably would not have come back for these people, I'm not gonna lie. I would've been like, "Nope. You treat me like this? Nope.
You are
Sorry."
on your own.
Exactly.
You're on your own.
But, yeah, he's the first one on my list for that reason.
I love it.
What about you? Who's on your list?
So I actually have several people on my list. Now, if we're talking specifically about characters just for right now, I would say Umaru from Himoto Umaru-chan is
Mhm.
probably near the top of my list because she's very much like now mind she's a high school student. So for anybody that's not seen the anime, she's a high school student. But the reason I relate to her so well is because she's a huge anime fan. I'm a huge anime fan. But when she steps out of her house or
Yeah.
has to step out of her house for whatever reason, she will hide that side of her. And I actually can relate to that because there was a
Mm.
time in my life where, like, I want to say people didn't know that I was an anime fan unless
Yeah.
a topic was brought up because I made it a point not to let people see that side of me. But the moment I got home, nope, it was a completely
You had the
different
collection and everything.
vibe. I sure did. Like, and if any of my friends that were not anime fans would come over to my house at the time, I would hide all that stuff.
I see,
Like,
I see.
I had a special place underneath my dresser in my bedroom and underneath my bed that I put everything nice and neat. And if they came and we had like a slumber party, a sleepover, they would never see none of that stuff ever.
Mm.
And so I think she's relatable because she is comforted by her love for anime, like manga, video games, and she could just be herself in her own space. And that was me growing up. Like the moment I hit my room, true I felt like true, quote unquote, true me came out. And like
Mhm.
I was wrapped up in my Inuyasha blanket. I had, my little figures everywhere. I would turn on the TV and Dragon Ball Z would be playing. And it was just a surreal moment where it's like I can just be myself, not have to be bothered. I don't have to be this fake person. Or not fake, but
Mhm.
like I don't have to be
But a
this
different
version
version.
of
Yeah.
myself in order to please other people or to like keep up this image. I could just be me in my space. And I think that's why she was relatable. Now, mind you,
Mm.
she lives with her older brother. And so there are certain days and oh, does she live with him? I don't know if they live together or if she just is over there all the time, but there are certain days and times where she acts like a little kid because he won't buy her like chips, or he won't buy her juice,
Yeah.
or he won't like get the latest video game to play with her. Like he
Mhm.
sees one side of her.
Mhm.
And I promise you, if you ask my younger sister what I was like, what was Ichigo like growing up, she's probably just gonna give you things that's gonna be mostly like Umaru at her house
Yeah.
in her own space. And so for me, she's just really relatable because it's like that moment when you hit your house and you can just be yourself and be in your space and just be comfortable
Yeah.
and not have to worry about anybody judging you or anything like that. Like that's what I miss.
Mhm.
I'd say she's definitely on my top charts for like relatable.
To you.
Mhm.
Mhm. I
For me,
see.
yeah, for me. Mhm.
That makes sense. You know what I realized? I only have boys on here. What is up with that? But my
I
second
don't
one
know.
my second one is Ishida Shoya from, Silent Voice,
Ah.
and I feel like personally, I wouldn't say I related to him completely and because he was, like, a pretty awful kid. He was kind of like a because I was a very shy person when I was younger.
Mhm.
I was definitely not as outspoken as him, whatnot, but there was a lot of kids I knew who were kinda like that, who wanted to be because everyone wants to fit in, they wanna be cool and popular and whatnot,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, what people do is, like, they tend to be ruthless toward other people so that they feel like they're, like, the in,
Mhm.
and but I do feel that people grow and people change, and that in that sense, I feel like he's very relatable, that he regretted it and he wanted to be better, and he also experienced then similar, like, ruthless bullying and how harsh children can be
Right.
at times, and he
Right.
became alienated, him feeling lonely, and the way he sees, like, all the X's on people's faces, he can't look up, like, that kinda stuff, I was like, "Oh, man, that kinda stuff I related to a lot," and in the end, like, he redeems himself, and I don't know, I just feel like it's a very common struggle, like, it's very
Mhm.
real and a very common struggle that people go through, and that's why I
Yeah.
had to put him on my list.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's definitely a started from the bottom. I hate even quoting this, but this is the best way
Yeah,
I can
start
think
from the
about it.
bottom,
Like,
now we're here.
yeah, it started from the bottom. Now I'm here, but
Yeah.
like for his own personal relationships
Yes.
is what I would say with that. But yeah,
Mhm.
man, that's a sad one. But I
It's a
I
sad
I
one.
like that one. I do
Mhm.
like that one. Um, Another one of my most relatable characters. I hate to even bring this up, but 90s version Sailor Moon.
Oh.
But not all of the time. Not like her crybaby, whiny self, but
Mhm.
more so of the part of her that always wanted to help somebody out.
I see.
Like almost like a borderline people pleaser.
Mhm.
Um I guess I can consider myself sometimes like a people pleaser. Like I care a lot about sometimes almost too much about what other people think and
Yeah.
just wanting to kind of really, really, really go the extra mile to help people. And so I actually love that about Usagi's character is that she was really like down for all of her friends and she was down to help people even if I don't want to say maybe they didn't deserve it because that's not right, but even like the people that didn't treat her right, she was
Yeah.
like, "Let me just help you." Like that aspect of her. And obviously the funny moments of her of like, "Oh, I just really want to just lay in my bed and do nothing all day." Like
Mhm.
those moments too as well. I would say definitely were relatable for me, but her people pleasing and her really going the extra mile for her friends and her loved ones was the part that I really related to because that I wanted to I wanted to be that. Like I wanted to be that person for somebody's life.
Yeah.
And the fact that like she just so not well, I'll say naturally, like she just so naturally drew in like people to surround her and then brought out the good in those people as well
Mhm.
was beautiful to me. And so
Yeah.
in that aspect, she was definitely relatable.
I love that, actually.
Thanks.
That's really cute. The 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 next one I have is kinda sad. Well, at least from a sad anime.
Who
Tomoya
is it? Who?
Okazaki from Clannad.
No. No.
Listen, let's this guy, he just okay, he starts off, kind of cynical in the beginning, especially when they're in the high
Mhm.
school setting in the first season, and he's kind of like standoffish, but he slowly changes and with the people around him and whatnot. And then, he proceeds to basically lose everything in his life. And also like when they're
Girl.
parents, I feel like that aspect was also very relatable, like having especially at young parents having their first
Mhm.
child. I really like how they portrayed that. And then of course they hit us with all the sad stuff.
The
Eh,
sickness and taking
and
care
his
of his
not his
daughter.
girl and his other girl, like, bro, they just did him dirty, like,
They really did.
but I really feel like the way they showed, like, the grief and just
Mhm.
even his whole life throughout, I was like, I feel for this guy, and I feel like that type of portrayal was, like, very realistic, if that made sense,
Yeah, I get that. Um,
but it's still sad.
I do see it. I do see, like, him being relatable in that aspect. Also, his whole, like, character development throughout
Yes, mhm,
from
like,
when he was
growing up.
in it's like growing up. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly the best way to describe it. Like, growing up, you go through these trials and tribulations in your life. Now his were definitely, like, left
Extreme.
field, extreme for somebody his age. Not saying that people don't
Yeah, but
go
it's
through that
it's
at that
some
age, but, like, for an anime to show that, it was like, "Whoa."
mhm,
But I I I will say I agree with that, but definitely most, like, we all grow up and we all go through trials and tribulations, and
mhm,
this is how we lean on each other to get out of that. In that aspect, I would say he's relatable.
mhm.
But oh, that hurt my heart. Hurt my heart. Okay, I'm getting us out of the little bit of the dark. We kind of went a little not dark, but a little heavy
Sad.
there. And you started it, but
I had to.
I'm gonna bring us out of the heavy feeling
Okay.
with Kusuo Saiki from
Oh,
Saikike.
Psyche? Mhm, that's actually on
Yes.
my list too. So relatable.
He is definitely I love him. I love That's the best way I could
The whole
describe him.
socially awkward, yes.
Well, not only the fact that he's socially awkward, so if anybody has for anybody who has not seen Psyche K is about a boy named Psyche who basically has psychic abilities since he was basically born. He can read other people's minds and he can do pretty much whatever else as a psychic.
Mhm.
And the only people who know that he is a psychic is just him, right? Or maybe his parents do as well. Like
I
they
think
know
s yeah, I think so. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen it, but my
it
mom
has
actually
been a
loves this
while.
show too.
I think it's hilarious, but Psyche is very much like an introvert,
Yes.
and
Heavy
he's
on the
just
introvert.
heavy on the introvert. Like he does not want to be bothered. He don't want to be around nobody. Uh, to the point where he just anytime he is around somebody and they like it's a forced interaction, and he's just like, I like just send me home.
Yeah.
The reason I put him on my list, because here's the thing, Psyche is definitely an introvert. I don't consider myself an introvert. I consider myself
Mhm.
an extrovert.
No, you're an extrovert.
I'm very much an extrovert. But I do have my introvert moments where I'm just like, I don't feel like being bothered today. I just want to sit on my couch and do nothing.
Mhm.
Or like even when he takes little jabs at his friends
Yeah.
and he's just like hurry up so we can go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready to go home. I don't want to be here. Like that in that aspect, like I feel like when my extrovert energy is down,
Yeah.
I kind of go into that like, okay, all right, guys, like my social battery is has been depleted. I'm ready to go home. Y'all keep talking. Can we go?
Yeah.
In that aspect.
I do agree. No, it's actually a really good show and it's funny. And I kinda like that they show even though he's, like, an introvert and a little bit, like, socially, like I said, awkward a bit in a sense,
Mhm.
he's still, like, pretty emotionally, like, intelligent,
Oh, yeah.
surprisingly. And
Oh,
he,
yeah.
like, understands people in this way or understands what people want, and I'm like, "Okay, you have the best of both worlds, I guess." Like, I don't know.
Well, I would say the reason he has, like, the best of both worlds is because he can read other people's minds. So, like, he
Yeah.
knows that they're
He
not
knows
coming
exactly.
from a place of, like, hatred. Like, like, all his friends and his family are coming from, like, a genuine feeling. So he's like,
Mhm.
"Dang, now I gotta like, I just wanna be left alone, but
Yeah.
now I gotta,
But now I
like"
gotta ugh, yeah.
they're being so genuine about it, so I guess I gotta fake being genuine even though I just wanna be left alone.
Just let me go.
Like, just let me go. But and I love the comedy of the show. So that show I
Yeah,
definitely will just watch at any point in time, like, if I need a good laugh or if I just wanna, like, sit on the couch wrapped up in a nice blanket with some popcorn, and now I'll put on that show.
I agree. I agree.
But he's definitely on my list, so I had to bring us back up.
Back in a better territory.
Little bit. Don't bring us back down.
I won't. I don't think again, I don't think any of my actually, my next one is not that down either. Actually, related and like this character because he doesn't, like, fit in the regular trope, which is nice.
Mhm.
Todoroki Shoto from My Hero Academia,
Ah, yeah.
and in my opinion, I feel like the way he's handled as a character, especially with, like, his broken home and, his family being what they are, and he, like, does hate his father, but he
Mhm.
never goes to try to, like, kill him, which is very common in, like, anime tropes where they try to get revenge or whatever,
Mhm.
and I feel like in that sense, he wants to be it's almost like he doesn't forgive his dad, but he's like he also doesn't wanna hold hatred for him because he's like, I don't wanna end up like you, I don't wanna be like you, I wanna be better than you." And I
Right.
just love that, like, from coming from, like, a child's perspective of, like, seeing your parents in a lot of aspects, they may have failed, and even then, to not necessarily hold let that hatred hold you back and instead realize, like, "I'm gonna be better." And I just
Right.
love that about him. And I feel like he's the more, like, interesting character because a lot of the characters in My Hero, I feel like, are one-dimensional, which isn't bad, like, they're interesting, but they're not, like, super deep, and I do feel like Shoto is, like, one of my preferred characters because of that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like the
And also
hair.
yeah, yeah, he's nice to look at too.
He's nice to look at. Yes, he's nice to look at. Oof. Yes. Man. Well, I think that I mean, I feel like I have other characters on my most relatable
You're most
list.
relatable. Yeah.
So like for example, my most recent relatable character, just because she's just kind of witty and funny, is Mao Mao from the Apothecary Diaries. I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
No, I haven't.
But she's just really witty and super smart. But she also has like that vibe of like, I don't really feel like being bothered.
Yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
want to do my own thing.
Like, stop bothering me. Stop trying to hit on me, like, oh, gross.
Yeah. But she's very much like she goes with the flow, which I also
Yeah.
really like. Like she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, I really don't want to do this, but oh well, I have no choice. Like we're just going to keep it moving, like keep it pushing."
Mhm.
But in a sense of like other characters, I feel like a lot of characters are found in a lot of like relatable anime, and for me, a lot of those anime are like comedy anime. So
Yes.
like my number one most relatable comedy anime is Uramichi Onisan.
I knew that one was coming.
I love that show. It is hilarious. And I think I like it and it's most relatable to me now is because the main character like all the main characters are adults and they're all in the workforce, like they're all working for a kids show.
Mhm.
And it seems like none of them really like their job, but they just working because they got bills
They
to
gotta
pay. They
survive,
got
yeah.
to survive. And the
This
main
economy. Ooh.
well, the main character, Uramichi Omota, the main character, he's very much like dang, I gotta go back to work today. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I feel like people have probably seen the memes, like, at least.
yeah.
Like, even if you haven't seen the anime, the memes are, like, everywhere, and it's
Mhm.
just so, so good and so relatable.
Which I feel like for an anime that is this relatable is really rare, like, within anime in
Mhm.
general. Like, it's
Yeah.
really like, well, dang, uh, he just laid it out there like, "Y'all, I really
Yeah.
hate my job, but I ain't got nothing else to do if I don't have a job.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do is my dream life didn't work out, so I guess I gotta just do this." Like,
Yeah, I love when
dang.
he's, like, talking to kids, telling them, like, "Listen, all your dreams and hopes are gonna be crushed. There's nothing in the world."
Yeah.
Just like, "Dang,
And I'm like,
feel you, though."
why is this a kids show? Well, not like an ant like
Yeah.
so the guy works for a kids show, and I'm like, "They really putting this on the air?" Like, I would want to see after they edit everything out, like, would they
Mhm.
still air this, quote, unquote? Like, air the actual show if he's, like, giving these small children who, mind you, are probably 4 or 5-year-olds, maybe 6-year-olds, life lessons and telling them to basically don't live up to their dreams. Like
Somebody's gotta let them know. Crush their dreams.
pretty much, yeah. But all of them, like every single last one of them, you got one character who's played by Miyano Mamoru.
Mhm.
Love it. Miyano Mamoru plays Iketeru Daga, and his character, he just like he works, but he's in La La Land all the time.
Mhm.
Like he's like, I'm not really here.
I'm not. I wish I wasn't,
Yeah,
honestly.
like I don't
At
want to be
work, I'm
here.
like, "Can I just not be here?"
Like he really doesn't listen, and you always have that one coworker who acts like they're listening, but they're really not listening.
Is that
And
me?
then
Wait a
no,
minute. I'm thinking
not
in my
you, that's
workplace,
not
I'm like, "Is
you.
that me?"
And they're just kinda like while you're talking to them, they're just kinda like off in La La Land, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry, were you talking to me? I wasn't listening."
Oh, I'm not that bad.
That's what his character does, like,
Yeah, yeah.
they could all be in the middle of a conversation, and they'll ask him for his opinion. He's like, "Huh? I'm sorry. What were
Yeah,
you talking to me?"
what you were
Like
talking to me? I was not
like,
listening.
yeah, I was not listening at all, and you're like, "Bro, we just had a whole 20-minute conversation. How did you miss the whole thing?" Like,
I
I
would've been
get,
like,
like,
"Clearly, you're
drifting
just talking to
off
yourself."
pretty much. Or, the what's the girl's name? Utano? They call her Utano Onesan. She's basically like she sings really well, but she never really made her big break into like the singing career. She's got like a quote unquote deadbeat boyfriend back at home, and all she want to do is just get married so she can live that, that married woman lifestyle. And I'm like, I feel like this is a stretch, but at the same time, it's absolutely hilarious
Yeah,
because she's
it
been with
is.
this dude for so long. She's tried really hard at, like, trying to really make her singing career bounce off only to end up on a kids show,
Mhm.
and your boyfriend is afraid of everything. I think there's an episode where, like, they're out on, like, a work retreat, and he calls her, and there's like, "There's a bug in the house." And he's, like, freaking out, and she just gets so mad. She was like, "You're a man, you need to take it out on your own."
Nope. No, she gotta do it.
And
Oh my
it's
god, that's
just
too good.
I love this show. It is absolutely hilarious, especially, like, for us now, like, now that we're older and we're working and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
and
I'm
we've been
like,
working for a while, mhm.
"Mhm." I know for a
That
while,
honestly,
I
that
wake up
reminds
and
me
I'm
of
like,
oh god,
"Uramichi-o-兄-san."
yeah. No, that reminds me of Zom 100 because
Yep.
in the beginning, like, literally, like, oh my god. Like, at
When
first, you're so bright-eyed and like, This is gonna be great," and then suddenly,
Mhm.
after a few years, you're like, "Oh my god, this is hell."
Yep. And then you
Absolutely.
just all of a sudden, you're just like, "Man." When everybody turned into zombies in Zom 100, he was like, "I don't have to go to work tomorrow." And I was like, "Bro, I feel
Honestly,
you on that. You ain't gotta go to
mhm.
work tomorrow, but
Yep.
I do." So
Yeah. Go back. Oh man. The thing is, though, I'd just rather die in the apocalypse. I'm not gonna lie. I don't wanna survive. That's the difference between me and him, though. I'm like, "Nope, just take me out. No, thank you. I do not need to
And
be running from zombies. I've already worked too long. I don't I don't need to be running at this age."
he really was like, very
Dream
happy.
come
He was like,
true.
I ain't,
Yeah.
this is my dream come true. I ain't got to go to work tomorrow. But his main thing was, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. And I
Mhm.
was like, bro, I feel you,
I do. In that
but I
respect, I
do.
do.
So,
Yeah. Actually, there's one, I feel like you would relate to this. This story is so unrelatable, absolutely unrelatable, but
mhm.
Haruhi Suzumiya not Haruhi, sorry, Haruhi Fujioka from Oran High School Host Club,
Ah, yeah.
because simply for the fact that she is surrounded by these rich people, and she's like, who these crazy rich pretty boys, and
Mhm.
look at how they're spending their money, like, every time. She's like, that's the relatable part, but, like, her whole story is absolutely unrelatable. I mean, if a bunch of pretty boys just wanted me take me into their group, I'll be down, but,
They didn't take her into the group. She was
she
deaded
was
into the
dead into
group.
the group.
She was
But,
put in
like,
a group by force.
that part is relatable. She has to work her way out, and she's like, "My god." Imagine being surrounded by a bunch of rich people, and they're just so outlandish and ridiculous, and have a club where they basically are oh my god, I don't think I could stand any one of them,
The
like,
most
in real
rel
life.
Oh, no. No, no, no. But the most relatable part for me in that whole anime was her sitting up there eating them crab legs.
Yeah.
That was the most relatable part. She made them look so good, and she was so mad.
I don't know, I feel like Haruhi did not appreciate all the riches that were bestowed upon her, because I
She
would have
couldn't.
been living the life.
She couldn't 'cause she had a debt to pay back. She can't
Well, that
enjoy
was
none
when
of
she
that
just has to
stuff.
work. So, when they're going to, like, the pool, like, what they went to the,
The beach?
what's that? The beach, but it's like like the amusement park slash
Mhm.
water park,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "Girl, I would be enjoying that. I'd be taking advantage of all the riches." Man, if only.
I'm telling you,
She was too reserved.
she can't enjoy none of that until
She's
because
got
here's the thing. The moment she started to enjoy her, somebody in that group will remind her she has a debt.
Yeah, that's true.
So, she can't she can't do that. But another anime, it's a slice of life comedy that is relatable is Watamote, which
Sounds so familiar.
the English title is like, no matter how I look at it, it's your guys' fault that I'm not popular. And so the main character, Tomoko, when she gets to high school,
Oh,
she's like, she now has a plan to date 100 guys,
yes, 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 I
I
know what you're talking
guess.
about.
But she's got really bad social anxiety. And so she's trying to break out of that into in order to enjoy her high school life. But I think the reason I find her relatable is because, like, there are times where, everybody has, like, those socially awkward moments, and you're just kinda like, "I don't know what was I supposed to do in that situation?" And the reason I
Mhm.
like that anime is because there are times where she reflects or where she doesn't get certain things, and she's like it goes over her head, or she's trying way, way, way too hard to, like, become immediately popular,
Yeah.
and it just all just it kinda falls through.
Yeah, and, like, backfires.
It all backfires, but she's still kinda like, "I wanna be able to be normal." And
That's
so
literally Delulu is a Salulu. You gotta fully be delusional enough to solve all your problems,
but when she smiles
basically.
at people, she look like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, man.
or, here's another one. It's a more recent anime. It just actually came out this year, and it's called Mr. Villain's Day Off.
Oh, I've seen that one, or not, like, seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's super cute, and it's relatable in the sense of, like, we're seeing it from a different perspective, so rather than, like, the heroes like day off and it's like, oh, he's just kind of chilling. He likes to do these things. It's always like it's the villain this time. And so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, when you're not being a villain, what do you do? And the villain works for an organization, like a villains organization that's come over to take over the planet Earth. But the whole show is about like the villain being in love with pandas.
Panda, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're so cute.
that like on all of his days off, he just will go to the or not all of his days off, on any of his day off, he will
Chilling with the panda.
just go chill with the panda and just go take pictures with them
Oh,
and just go do something that just makes him a little happy for the day.
that's cute.
It's really cute. It's really cute. There's so many.
That is actually really cute.
There are so many.
They
Oh my
are.
gosh.
But I
I
would like
love
to
it.
see more comedy, like, sort of like with Uramichi Oniisan, like,
Yeah.
that kind of comic relief, relatable work style, which is a little more, like, dark in a sense because it's more adult. Because they do have, like, cutesy types, I feel like, or
Mhm.
isekai types where they're working, like but I want it to be more grown, you know? A little bit more I guess people call it a little dark comedy because it's just a little too real, that type of style.
Yes, I would actually love to see a lot more. Especially like as we get older, I want to see more anime where
Like,
the
they're our age.
they're our age or like they're in kind of like our situation where they've been
Yeah.
working for so long. They either like or dislike
Their
their
soul has been
job.
sucked. Mhm.
Yeah, or like they've been working at the same company for so long. So kind of like the beginning of Zom 100, but
Yeah, but it's actually just
rather
it continues with the regular storyline.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now they do have some like romance type anime that are slice of life that are starting to be more like the characters are quote unquote our age group.
Yeah.
Um and I think that that's great, but because it's a romance, it's like okay, finding romance as a working person, they're older
Mhm.
rather than man, I really don't want to go to work today. I just want to stay home, play video games and lay on my couch and chill.
Yeah.
Um it seems like they've been adding more. Like I think last year there was a few and the one that I saw that I was like, "Okay, this is relatable, but it's kinda got like a fantasy spin on it because the cat is so huge," is like
Oh, yes.
the one I forgot the title. Oh my goodness. The Masterful Cat is Deceitful or something like that in English. It is on Crunchyroll, but like there's a couple of, scenes where the main female character is so forgetful and she's being taken care of by that cat that she's like,
Yeah.
I just want to stay home and just wrap up with him all day and just be like
Mhm.
cat like I hate work or like she'll come home kind of tipsy or drunk.
Yeah.
He has to take care of her. A lot more shows like that would be good. It's almost like definitely adding more for people our age group and people older that are
Yeah.
working that still like to watch anime, but they don't always have to watch something like where the main character is in their teens, early 20s.
Yeah. Make
They
stuff
could
for the
watch.
millennials. We grew up with
Yeah.
this. We're the
Yeah.
loyal fan base here, okay?
At least for America, yes.
Yeah.
We grew up with it, but Japan, they probably had it since,
I
60,
mean,
well,
they have
whenever
a
anime started.
yeah, they have a pretty large age range
Mhm.
because even a lot of older men as well, like, really, like, enjoy reading, like, Jump and stuff.
Right, right. So, but I would say, yeah, I would definitely love to see more,
Oh,
but
yeah. I need the more good dark comedy style like that.
Uramichi Onisan,
Yes,
just like that one.
exactly.
I'm sure there are a lot more. So if you guys have any recommendations that are similar to like Uramichi Onisan that you
Mhm.
think we haven't seen yet or just that you recommend, let us know.
Yes. Let
Or
us know.
yes, or just let us know like which anime characters do you feel relate to you personally the best and why. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode. We really appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we hope that some of the characters that we relate to, you guys may also relate to. So be sure to check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Anime Sekai Podcast. And we will catch you guys next week for another brand new episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Catch you next week.
Peace.